Let's now talk about the importance of community participation in the condominial system. It's already been said several times that community participation is the foundation of the condominial system. Our guidelines are based on it, our discussions stem from it, as do our negotiations and communication with the residents. So contact with the resident is important at every stage of the process. In the condominial system, we always have to remember that it's a participatory process, a technical solution combined with community participation. And does this community participation happen just once? No, it takes place throughout the entire process. When we start a condominial process, we are already in contact with the community. So when you think about implementing the condominial system, you should already have a thorough preliminary discussion with administrators, the mayor, and community leaders. So it's a process where first I will inform all these leaders that we are proposing to create a solution for that area, that we are proposing to serve that area. And why do we do this at such an early stage? Because a lot of things that are of interest to the community can come up at that point. And we have to remember that we are bringing a solution to the community, but it's a solution that needs to meet the interests of the community, right? Many times we think one thing and the community will say, no, look, the area of the city with the biggest need is over here. We want you to start the system here. So we encounter resistance from the population in this area. So we have to understand what the community's interests are, what problems they have, so we can bring that back and put together a proposal that is more coherent and more acceptable. So in this first stage, it's as if we're laying a foundation. It's the foundation of my proposal that I will present to the community. So after this more general meeting, the first technical tasks begin, and the first technical tasks involve us surveying the area and sketching each block or group of houses. At each of these stages, we are also in contact with the community. So we will ask to enter the resident's house so we can check what the internal installations are like, whether they have a grease trap, where they currently dispose of their sewage, and what kind of sanitation solution they have implemented in their home. And we carry out this assessment in several houses so we can get a sense of what the problem is. We always have to keep in mind that I am going to propose a technical solution, but my technical solution depends on the condition of the resident's house, on the situation I find at that moment. So at this point, the residents will find out that we are going to implement the system in this area, and then we always talk to the resident. Look, we're going to come in here, we're going to install the sewage system here, and then you explain how the sewage system works. So this is the first contact we have with the resident. It's a more general contact, but it's already a way for us to inform them about what is going to happen in the city, right? In the second stage, the team will come in to make a sketch of the complex, that is, a drawing of each house. In this stage, there is also contact with the resident. And in this stage, it's all of them. Why? Because we are going to enter every house to make a sketch. And what exactly is the sketch? It's knowing the position of the lot, right? How the house is built within that lot. And when I leave that lot, I know exactly, look, the house takes up the entire lot. Do we have space to install a sewage system? If we need to build a system, for example, if I need to put a line at the back of the lot, is there space at the back of the lot? So after leaving this property, this house, I'll already know exactly, look, here's the situation, all the residents have a septic tank, the septic tank is at the back of the lot, or everyone has a septic tank, and the tank is in front of the house, in the front yard. So I know whether the house takes up half the lot or the entire lot. So we leave there knowing what the situation of the house is within the lot, what the sewage situation of that house is, how the residents solve the sewage problem, and I've already left there with a general idea that in this development here, for example, the best option for a condominial branch to serve these residents would be a line running through the back of the lot, or a line running in the sidewalk, or if there's no sidewalk in this development, it would be a network running through the front yard. So the sketch is what gives us an idea of what the best solution for the sewage disposal for that particular house will be. And I'll know exactly that. Look, house number 1 belongs to Mr. João, number 2 to Mrs. Maria, number 3. So I know all the residents of the houses. And what is that for? so that when we hold the community meeting, we'll use this sketch as a reference. And with this sketch, I know everyone. So I'll be able to talk to the resident, knowing that when the resident speaks up, complains about something, I can ask, oh, which is your house? My house is number 10. I know whose house number 10 is, and we know exactly what the solution is for house number 10. So the process of community participation is important at every stage. At the meeting, I know this, I can talk to the resident. From the meeting, they will decide, they will discuss, and there we will make a decision about which is the best option for the condominial branch to be built on that lot. And it's always important to remember that the solution I propose for the condominial branch in each of the complexes is the result of a negotiation process with the residents. So we leave a meeting knowing exactly this. Look, here the line will go through the front yard. Here the line will be in the sidewalk, here it will be at the back of the lot. But this was negotiated with the residents. And the community's participation doesn't end at this point, right? We still have the entire process of implementing the system. So during the process of implementing the system, the team is always monitoring the entire construction process and is always available to assist the residents and answer any questions. So throughout the whole process, there is oversight from the community mobilization team. And at the end of the process, once the work is finished, the team goes back to each house to inspect the system that was installed. At that point, we have another interaction with the resident, which is to explain to them, look, now the system is ready, now you're going to do it like this, make the connection this way. So we hand out manuals, provide all the informational documentation, and explain to each resident how they should connect their internal installations to the box that was built by KSB and to the condominial branch line. So the mobilization process runs throughout the entire implementation of the system, from before the construction even starts to after the work is completed. So we always have to check. It is important to understand that there is no condominial system without the process of community participation. So this process is the foundation of the system throughout the entire implementation process.